welcome everybody. Welcome to this test flight stream. Once again, we are looking at the brand new model of the Zibo mod. This is version 8 alpha or version 3.43. And 8 alpha brings us new VNAV code and options. And that's the big thing that we are going to test right now. Hello, Captain Reynolds, and hello, Captain Gio. Nice to see you guys here. Chris, if you are here already, welcome, guys. Right, so I'm not going to fly exactly point A to point B, or whatever you want to call it. But what I am going to do is I've got 5 tasks that was given to me by Zibo that I need to fulfill. So this is task number 1 that Zibo has given me. Hello, Chris. See you there now. Task number 1, Zibo wants us to fly with a waypoint altitude constraint with VNAV alt on, and then there are certain things we're going to do, and then we can use altitude intervention, the little button, to do the climb when VNAV alt is engaged. Alright, so that's task number 1. And what he has done in the tablet, he has created a new option under display variants on page 5, where you can switch VNAV alt on, as in installed or not. So I had a chat with another real world pilot earlier, and basically what he says is that VNAV alt is what is basically available in all the newer generations of the Boeing systems. So if we go to menu and we go to our FMC, you can see here the program version that is used is version 13, and according to this person, and I'm obviously just repeating what he's saying, I didn't actually go and check him, apparently up to version 8 and before there wasn't an altitude intervention option, and you had to use VNAV basically for that. So that's where the big difference comes into. So Steve, I'm gonna do my best to try and explain, and if I make a mistake, somebody else can please chip in and help me. But basically it's all about how you use VNAV. The VNAV alt is a newer, more refined code that actually also then works with this little button over here, your altitude intervention button, and some of the old aircraft apparently do not even have this button. So if you go into VNAV mode, you've got to fly it slightly differently than when you fly VNAV alt. VNAV alt is the newer one, it's the easier one. So after speaking to, I spoke to about 5 different pilots today from various international carriers as well as local South African guys. Spoken to Zibo, I spoke to Jan, that's part of the team as well, and you know, we had a nice big powwow about this. And what happened is Zibo has actually now indicated that he's going to bring in a 3rd version as well. So I'm not going to go into much detail on that. I'm not sure if I'll be flying that test flight on that one, you know, or whether it's just going to be incorporated. But basically there will be a 3rd option of VNAV as well, because yet again there is a different 800 version with yet another version of the software that does it again in a different way. So what happens is Zibo in his wisdom has now decided to basically grant the wishes of each generation that was different, you know, in the 800. So I think for us, we are used to flying with VNAV alt. That's the way we grew up with the PMDG versions as well, and came to Zibo. I mean, as a flight simmer, that's what I know, that's what I was trained on many years ago by the real world guys, and that's what I'm used to. So this other VNAV way of flying is kind of weird, unknown to me, it's before my time. And then the 3rd option again is something I don't actually understand right now, and I still have to do a bit of homework. Zibo gave me the explanation, it is here, but yeah, also not something I'm familiar with. So, as I said, the first task is going to be, we're going to fly with VNAV Alt. So we've got VNAV Alt is on. What we are going to do is we are going to use an altitude constraint. So what I did was, in my legs page, I actually went and created 2 constraints there at RAGUL and Uteba. I'm going to depart from runway 21 right at Oliver Tambo Johannesburg International Airport, flying in the direction of Cape Town. But like I said, we won't get there. So this is then going to give us basically that portion over there, whereas you know, that's the 2 constraints, and then we're going to let it fly on. Then we're going to set the MCP and we're going to press the VNAV button instead of the altitude intervention, which is kind of conflicting here because he says here you can't use. Okay, sorry, I didn't see the you can't use. So I'm going to use the VNAV button then. Alright, to see if we can climb and see the results. Alright, so bear in mind this is a test flight. This is the first time that I'm gonna fly it, and things might go wrong, and obviously this video is set up with Zibo in mind, and it's for him to see the reactions. He told me he does not have time to fly this test himself because he's busy with other things. So gents, we're in for a ride. Let's see what happens. I'm ready to go. One of the other things I also did was I saved my flight. I made 2 saved flight situations right here, and I pray that they both work, so we can just come back every time to this very point here. We'll change a couple of the settings and we'll take the next one and we'll go fly. Alright, so hello Uncle John, welcome. Zibo, a second. Alright, Zibo says he'll be at home in 15 minutes, so he'll be here soon thereafter, and he can watch with us then, if all goes well. Alright, so let's start. Guys, the reason I'm starting a bit earlier today, for those of you that don't know, our rolling blackouts is back. Our electricity supply commission simply cannot produce enough electricity for the country, so they switch us off periodically, and we are scheduled to go down at 8 o'clock PM local time, which is about 3 hours from now. So I have to do the tests now, otherwise we will not be able to continue.
Approaching 2-1 right.
Right, just for information again, I did set the MCP altitude to 12,000 as Zibo requested, so the aircraft should not climb beyond 12,000. Right. That is based on MCP as well as altitude restriction, but we'll see what happens. Again, this is a test, so anything can happen, but we'll see.
Stabilized. Takeoff thrust set. Throttle hold.
Frame's nice and clear.
Thank you, Uncle John. Are you okay?
V1.
Yeah, I'm fine. Your timing was good.
Good, so you landed?
Yeah, I've only done 5 flights today.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Right, there we've put command A on, and I'll just
trim down.
Happens.
Runway turn off, lights off. Approaching transition. Approaching transition.
Okay, so guys, I'm just going to zoom in to just make it easier to see what's happening on the PFD. Because that was
Transition altitude.
a great part of the discussion of what it's supposed to show, when it's supposed to show it, things like that.
You keeping your flaps out, Nico?
Uncle John, the aircraft is not climbing to a point where it needs to be retracted yet. It is still slow, just nosing along. Oh, you know why? VNAV switched off for some reason. I didn't realize VNAV was off. I was just thinking maybe it's the way I set it up. VNAV wasn't on, Uncle John.
Start again.
I'll do it. Let's run it once, then we'll start again. We're gonna do it a few times.
Okay.
My VNAV and LNAV was definitely on when I did the roll. So, oh, you know what happened?
Tell me.
The autopilot disconnected for some reason, which is also something that it shouldn't have done. I didn't tell the autopilot to
Flaps 1
switch
set.
off.
Okay.
So a couple of things went wrong there, Uncle John.
Okay. Ones I noted.
Flaps upset. 1000 to level off.
1,000 to go.
Right, so we've got 12,000 there. We're on VNAV. So it should block us now. Right, so after that waypoint, looking at the schematic here, I'm going to set the MCP to 26,000 and then I'm going to press the VNAV button. And once it starts to climb, we need to get to 26,000. Check everything again and then we'll restart the flight again. And we're going to do that at least 5 more times, guys. What you eating, Uncle John? Banana. Alright guys, we're almost there. Then we'll set the MCP and use the VNAV button. So there's a couple of things we're going to have to learn, it seems. The more I read what Zibo wrote here, the more I think I understand. And I'll obviously have to practice it. If he says you can't use altitude intervention, which is that little button there on the side, when VNAV alt is engaged, then I might have gotten my signals crossed a bit, because I was under the understanding, and this is now part of what we're figuring out, that this is the way it used to be, but apparently, well, I don't know if it's just a singular occurrence or whether this is how it works, but by the time I'm finished we should have a better understanding of when to press what and what not. And if he comes around we can ask him as well.
Well, I'm guessing he should be home by now anyway.
Yeah, but remember he's got a wife and kids, and you need to say hello and maybe grab a snack and then switch on the PC and then come watch. It doesn't happen just instantly. Right, okay, so we've technically reached the next waypoint. Now, I'm not going to do it immediately. Let's give it a few seconds to just pass by. We can set the altitude to 26 now. Alright. So it's opened our speed window. LNAV is still there, speed is still there. In terms of buttons, we've got the altitude hold that's come up. So let's press, what did he say? VNAV. There. And there she goes. Awesome. Zibo, I'll load that just now. Let's finish this first flight and then we'll load the new update. Hello, John. Okay. Zibo, where did you post that? I missed that. Can you share that with me, or must I go find it on the forum? Where did you put that? Hello, plane guy. Right, we're almost at 26,000. This is the new 8B, the latest version Zibo's just given me. This apparently includes all 3 variants of the VNAV situation, so you'll see another option there shortly. I'm just going to restart the exploit to get that in there.
Thousand to level off.
1,000 to go.
Right. Okay. Hello, Steel. Right. So the reason I'm just quiet is because I'm looking at what Zibo is showing me now. It looks like Zibo. It looks like you've changed the graphics slightly because I can't find exactly that when you've got the VNAV. In fact, you've changed it. It seems. So I'm gonna have to download those images as well then. Okay. Right. I'm going to shut down the simulator and then just load the new version of the Zibo and then fire it up and start over. Alright, thank you, sir. Let me quickly install this and then we can get going again. Ignore. Guys, there you've seen it on my stream. There's apparently an explain update available, so that's probably R3 that is available because we are on R2 right now. So in case you didn't know, there you go. Awesome, Zibo. That's very nice. I'm gonna tell you guys what he said just now. Hello, Dimitri. Dit gaan goed met my en met jou. Right, so let's start with engines running. We do not have to go through all the rigmarole again, and we'll use the safe flight situation and then just amend what we need to do. We were there. Right, let me quickly save these pictures as well, because now they look different.
Good evening, Mr. Reynolds.
How's it, Dimitri?
Good evening to you, sir.
And how might you be this glorious evening?
Yes, I'm fine. And yourself?
Doing great, thank you.
Good. That's good news.
All right, okay, so I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong button. All right. Every time I move my Discord, it's like it freezes for a second or two.
Not much on this RC3 update, Nico.
I see. McTrying has just given me the lowdown on it. It's a couple of small things. Yeah, Steel, thank you very much. I'm feeling much better, man. It was interesting lying in hospital last night, wanting to fly and you can't. Eh? uh, I I was so annoyed. I was still speaking with Zibo, and I said to him, "Yeah, let's go do this test flight." And the next moment, it hit me, and I had to drop everything and run. Eh? Oh, it was not nice, but I'm okay, thanks.
Good day
On
to you all.
runway 2,
Hey,
1,
Mac.
right, flaps, flaps.
Drop the release candidate notes, release notes.
Thank
in
you.
the toolbox.
Yeah, I got it. I was just telling the guys you dropped it for me. All right. Okay. So let's just go look at the change in the settings now. Whew. Okay. Now let's see if we can discern what Zibo says here. Uncle John, I'm gonna have to put your mug on my screen for a moment, unless you want to switch your camera off. You don't mind, okay? All right. So let's see if we can figure this out. So in the EFB settings, Zibo, help me, correct me if I don't understand it, but basically you say we've got VNAV altitude installed, yes and no, yes we can see that. Then we've got VNAV alt, an option between VNAV alt and altitude hold. Alright, yes or no variant 1. Okay. So if you are saying variant 1, I presume it's the top picture, and that will be variant 2, and that will be variant 3. I'm not sure. I'm guessing. Right, so we have alt installed no. Right, so if you say VNAV alt installed no, and there goes that one. Let me just pull it off. VNAV alt installed no. VNAV alt. Alright, so that will be either or, a yes or a no, and that means that it's variant 1. Alright. VNAV altitude installed, yes. VNAV alt. Okay, they don't switch automatically, I'm just checking. Alt no is variant 2. And if we say yes and yes,
2, 1, right.
that's variant 3.
1, right.
Alright, okay. Alright, I'm gonna get back to that just in a second. Guys, what he also says, Zibo says, is that this setting will be saved per livery. So if you have, let's say Southwest uses one form, Ryanair uses a different form, and Mango Airlines uses another form, it means that you can then obviously set the VNAV capabilities of each aircraft per livery. Okay, so that is good.
That's brilliant.
Alright, if you set VNAV alt installed to no, then settings, okay, let's go to no. Then altitude hold will have no impact on VNAV. Alright, okay, because VNAV alt is not installed. Let's read that again. If you set VNAV alt installed to no, or obviously you're taking the equipment out, right? It's not there. Then the settings VNAV alt altitude hold have no impact on VNAV because VNAV alt is not installed. Okay. Alright. Man, you need a PhD to understand this. It's going to take me a second or three to get this to sink in, I'm telling you. Alright, so I just want to get to the variance.
That's that one where there's an altitude restriction, isn't there, in your climb to cruise? That second one. The VNAV out and out hold. It's the difference between what happens when you pass that restriction.
Yeah. Okay, so
On
I'm just
runway
reading
21,
quickly
right.
here.
On runway
Variant 1
21,
is
right.
without VNAV alt. That's fine. Variant 2 is VNAV alt, and to stay in VNAV alt after leveling off. And variant 3 is VNAV alt and change to altitude hold after level off. Okay. So let's go have a look at the new pictures. Where are they now? Okay, so this is the last two pictures that Zibo has given me. This is with VNAV alt. And there we have an altitude constraint. Alright, and there we have an altitude constraint. This is similar to the one we just flew. This is to use VNAV speed to climb. So this is without VNAV alt. Let me just see. Zibo, are you watching the stream?
No, it's the difference in the second one. You've got an MCP set at 26, not an out waypoint out restriction.
Both of them
Yeah,
are...
I can see that.
No. Both, but there's MCP set to 26, MCP 26, top of climb 26. The difference here is there. What we've just done is we've clicked the VNAV button to actually make it climb instead of the altitude intervention button. Okay, so it's gonna take a second for me to grasp it. Let me just get that thing back on the screen now, because now it's gone weird, haywire. I can see the same thing, Dimitri. I can see the same thing. Okay, so basically variant 2. Yeah, I'm gonna get the hang of it shortly. So basically this is with VNAV altitude installed. It's two variants of the same thing. This is what he's saying to me now. So both images with different situations. Alright, so the difference that I can see is that we're using the VNAV button to climb instead of the altitude intervention, and there we're using the altitude intervention. I'm just checking now. That's a VNAV path, that's a VNAV path. There's an altitude constraint as well. Okay, so here's another difference. In the option here, you're going to set your MCP before you reach your altitude constraint there. And after the altitude constraint, you're going to press VNAV speed. Over here, you basically pass the altitude constraint, then you set your MCP altitude, then you press your altitude intervention. Yes, John, that's exactly what I'm saying. Great minds think alike. You see, so this is before the altitude constraint, this is after the altitude constraint. There you use altitude intervention, there you use your VNAV speed. So this is then variant 2 on this picture. Okay, I'm starting to see this. Okay, then let's see. All right, and this is VNAV alt without FMC altitude restrictions. Okay, same thing but no altitude restriction. Okay, got it. Making sense now. Yeah.
Are you gonna do a demonstration flight, Nico, or?
Yeah, I'm busy with it. We're gonna do a couple of flights over and over until we actually understand this. So we want to set this now on VNAV alt, and we want to use which one are we gonna do first?
And presumably that's Nico, that third option. Sorry, I've got to go. Be back in a minute.
Okay. All right. Okay. Stopped. Okay, so we want alt hold installed. And we want VNAV altitude. Okay, so let's try that. Let's go give it a bash. So we've got VNAV alt installed, and we're going to use VNAV alt. Okay, let's see.
Nico,
Yes.
Flaps 5 set.
sorry, I have the same question as Steel. How would you know which airline does what?
Google? I don't know. You're asking me such questions. Google it. I don't know. Ask them. Call them. Ask a friend.
Real world pilots, ask them.
Yeah, no, we'll have to. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to simulate each one differently. I'm used to flying one way, you know. I know people who work at Southwest. I know people who work at Ryanair. I know people who work at Mango here, where I used to work. So it's easy enough for me to find out from them. But I honestly don't know, guys. Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so just for the record, we've reloaded this. I need to go back there. Sorry, that one first. So
There's enough real world pilots throughout the sim world anyway.
Yeah, I think we can make a post on the Zibo pilots group. I mean, I spoke to 5 different carriers today alone. Pilots representing 5 different carriers. They're all there. We'll find out. Okay, so we've got VNAV out, and we've also got it installed, obviously. All right, so let's go fly it. Let's see.
Stabilized.
Huh?
Approaching 2-1 right. On runway 2.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Yeah, thanks, Zibo. We'll go back to that one. That's the one we actually flew initially, right? So let's just stop here quickly for a second. God, I'm just waiting to see what Zibo writes here. Alright, so while we're waiting for him, let me just remind you, we've got an altitude constraint on both of these ones. Thank you, Zibo. Okay, so we've got the altitude restraints. Alright, so if we go back to the beginning, variant 1 is without a VNAV alt. Okay, it actually, this one says with VNAV, so there's without waypoint with VNAV alt, with waypoint altitude, without
On runway
VNAV.
21 right. On runway 21 right.
Okay, Zibo, these are the ones I've got, so with VNAV alt, with VNAV alt, with VNAV, without VNAV alt, that's the one you're referring to. Alright, just take me a second to get there. Right, okay. Let's take it from the top. Let's just fly all of them. We'll figure it out as we go, and then you can just fill in the blanks for us. So we've got altitude constraints in the takeoff. We are set up with VNAV alt is installed and VNAV alt is on. Okay, so we set to 12,000. Hopefully this time nothing disconnects again. I'll be very upset if it does. Right, and just for the record before we continue, this will be 43.8b.
Stabilized.
Double check everything this time.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move the head like that and we can see everything disconnects.
Takeoff thrust set. Throttle hold.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not the end of the world, Zibo. I know you're a perfectionist, but don't let that worry. I mean, you probably solved it, or could solve it in 5 seconds, so don't worry about it.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Alright, nothing went off this time except for the Microsoft speech recognition that died again. It's not our concern.
There's still about a 20-second delay, Nico, so don't be surprised.
Runway turn
Any
off,
remarks?
lights off.
Okay. Right, we're going. So we are
Approaching
accelerating
transition.
now. I'll keep my eye on the flap situation.
Flaps 1 set.
Nice flaps up. Steel, no, it's because the Microsoft speech engine died again. It's very unstable.
Flaps
I don't know
upset.
why. That's got nothing to do with Zibo or
Transition
Linda. It's just a glitch in the Windows.
Wait, what? A glitch in Windows? That never happened.
Transition altitude.
No, not really. Not in real world, eh? Hello, Captain Rick.
Flying over Kempton Park.
Yeah, this is way past Kempton Park already. You're
1000
obviously a
to
bit
level off.
lagging behind. We already passing
1000 to go.
Germiston, surrounds here, Alberton, I suppose, already. Alright, so we are still on VNAV path. Oh, come on. Alright, so there we are in VNAV path, and there's VNAV path. Alright. So now we're going to wait until we pass the last restriction, because there's a restriction all the way here. Once we are past that, we can look out for VNAV alt. Zibo says you cannot use alt intervention for climb when VNAV alt is engaged. See, there's VNAV alt. Can't use altitude intervention in that phase. We're going to set the MCP then for 26. Look out for altitude hold and then press the VNAV button. Let's see. So far it's working exactly as advertised. Dimitri, you ever been to South Africa?
I did a couple of projects there, yeah.
Okay.
In Cape Town.
Okay. Nice.
That's where you're going, right?
Well, the plan is set up, but we won't reach it. What I'm gonna do is just basically climb to 26,000 feet, the top of my climb, and then restart the flight, because Zibo obviously is watching, and we just want to test that it works. You know, because he's put a lot of hard work in here, and then obviously he can guide me to fly it differently if he needs to, and things like that. So it's just a test. It's not really a flight from point A to B.
Got you.
Still no, negative. It's got nothing to do with the FMC at this point in time. In fact, I can zoom in, I can show you, because of the altitude constraints, you see there, the rest of the flight down to Cape Town, which is a 2-hour flight, is all done at flight level 120, which is part of the constraint. So to break the constraint in this now, because obviously these are manual altitude restraints I've put in, we have to now use the methods that's now required to use. Just after that waypoint there, we will just follow the picture. So we'll see if VNAV alt actually comes in. I'm not sure because of the fact that everything is set to 12 now, but we'll see. And then we'll set up the MCP and watch it change and press the button. We'll see. Yeah, still, no, that's why I showed you. That's why I showed you. Right, seems we have reached it. I'll let it go past another 10-20 seconds and then we will start changing everything. So, let's see. Look at this. Look at this. Look how great this programming is. VNAV Alt, VNAV Alt. See? See there? Perfect. Now we're going to set this to 26. Alright, so as you guys can see, nothing's happening. It's literally waiting for us. Again, look how great this is. Altitude hold, exactly as expected. And now we can press the VNAV button and watch the magic happen. How's that? Wow.
So how is that different from before?
Well, I'm just going to blurt it out the way I see it. First of all, he's fixed the enunciation. Okay. And he has now implemented the code to discern in which phase of the flight we are so that it actually gives the right enunciation. Okay. And then secondly, previously, if you wanted to do a level change, you would have had to press the altitude intervention button. But in this form, the way it's operating now, in this setting, you can't use that button. Okay, you have to use VNAV, because what is also implemented now, Dimitri, is you'll see that depending on the mode, you actually lose your VNAV. You actually get to a speed intervention situation where you have got to turn the knob yourself. Alright, and to get it back out of there, you obviously have to enable VNAV. Enabling VNAV then obviously makes everything kick in, you know, that needs to climb now. So he's given greater authority to the MCP altitude. Okay, because look there, it's set to 26,000. Over here in your legs page, it's still at 12,000. You understand? So if you fly like we used to fly and you press that altitude intervention button, it will automatically update your flight level for you in your cruise page. It will well, it is there but not on the legs page, right? So it would have updated everything all over. Now it's not updating there. It actually updated it in the cruise page there, we can see. Now it doesn't click there. See, it updated there, but it didn't update the legs page for us. You see? So exactly the science behind this and why you want to use this, I don't know. Maybe one of the real pilots can tell us why you would prefer to do it the old way, this way, because I understand this is the old way of doing it compared to the new generation way of doing it. I don't know, they'll have to tell us. John, sorry my friend, thank you for watching a little bit. You're obviously welcome to come back later when the whole video is rendered and watch it. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Okay, so I don't know. I can't really tell you. I'm basically.
No, that's fine. More options are always better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, it looks very. I mean, I'm gonna say it. It looks very Airbus-like.
Yeah, it sounds like that. One of the things that was apparent today while I was talking to the different pilots from the different international carriers, and I'm talking literally worldwide now, 5 different guys I spoke to today, is they've got 50 aircraft in the one fleet that all have VNAV alt in, and then they've got 20 that's still old. They just don't have it. You understand? So if you're looking at the Zibo mod as a training aid for those guys, and this option isn't available, how do they train? You understand? And this I think at the end of the day is going to be a marvelous training aid for the guys who still need the old system, because now Zibo's given it to them. You know, kudos to him. He did a marvelous job, it seems. So I think we need to look past the fact that it's just a flight simulator toy. We need to look at the fact that it's actually a training aid. We need to look at the fact that real world carriers, and I don't want to call the names, but I know of plenty of them. We've had some of those pilots here on my streams telling us that 70, 80, 90% of their pilots in their fleet uses the Zibo for training. You understand? Then it becomes almost a responsibility of Zibo to make sure that it's actually performing the way these guys would expect it, because they are using it for training. You know, before they go to the level D sim, they all sit with us to fly with it.
Indeed.
Yeah. So then it's very important to have all the different systems. Right, we're almost at 26,000 feet. Once we reach there, I just want to see that, oh yes, by the way, VNAV speed, you can see there the annunciator VNAV speed. Again, it's in codes. Then we want to see that it goes to VNAV path, and then this test is done. Test number 1 is then successful.
Nico, a cranky old pilot once told me, you live and die by the FMA.
See. Yeah, it's very important, and I recall a couple of versions ago we had a pilot here
1000 to level off.
that said, no, but this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, you know. And to tell you what, Zibo's come a long way from that day. There we go, VNAV path. VNAV path, guys. So test number 1 with the waypoint altitude constraint and VNAV alt on is successful. Good job, Zibo.
Flaps 5 set. Stabilized. We have park brake on, sir.
Sorry, I had my throttle still in the power up position.
So Nico, can you maybe pan out to the FMC legs page?
Yeah. Gentlemen, Zibo has just released this version. You guys can go and download it, and then you can play with it yourself. He says he's corrected the VNAV pitch mode, VNAV alt installed. Alright. He's also made mention of the altitude hold versus VNAV alt, and then improved 3D modeling, mapping position, switches, seat, floor, roof. Thanks to Mugs.
Sorry, what was the last bit, Nico?
He improved 3D models, mapping, position, switches, seat, floor, roof, and a couple of other things. Thanks to Mugs.
So I have a question, Nico.
Before you go, he's just made a special mention. The update is about 75 megabytes because of the 3D improvements, guys, so just be warned. Let's go grab it, then we'll do the rest of the tests with that actual released version. Good. Go grab it. Okay, shoot, Dimitri.
No, I was just gonna ask you. I was downloading this and it seemed bigger than all the
Big.
other.
Yeah.
Installed.
You guys are faster than me.
Same here. Uncle John, same here. I'm just loading it up right now.
Right, I'm firing up.
Uncle John, very fast indeed.
You know what? Let's quickly update this. Quit and update. Let's quickly update explain. While we've got it, then we can test that as well.
Don't forget to delete your shaders.
And posted on the pilots.
Yeah. Uncle John, my hands are full. Go post it on the pilots group, please.
Too late, sir. It's out there.
Oh, did you put it there? Oh, is
Yes,
that what you
and
said? Oh, I understand what you meant. Sorry.
including the fixed points.
Yeah.
So while you're waiting for this update, Nico, what's so the EFB setup is on and on?
Yeah, you've
Those
got,
two?
first of all, you need to choose, do you want VNAV alt installed, yes or no? All right. Then what you need to choose, once it's installed, on option 1 being yes, you need to decide, do you want to use VNAV alt or VNAV hold? Those are the two options. VNAV alt, okay, um, means that you cannot use your altitude intervention while that is on your annunciator there on the FMA. Okay. If you have altitude hold, like it used to be, that's basically how I understand it. That's how the Zibo used to work. Then you can use your altitude intervention button. That's how I
Got it.
understand it in layman's terms right now. So
Got it. So regardless of you want to use altitude hold or not,
mm,
you should have that installed. Let's say at least in one of your liveries, just to have that
yes,
option. Right? Okay.
yes. Zibo is typing. I hope I said it correct. Otherwise, he'll help me just now.
Hello, Kev.
Hello, John. How are
How's
you?
it, Kevin?
Nico, how are you, Nico?
I'm actually okay, thank you. And I'm having fun here with Zibo and the Zibo mod, I'm telling you. I'm enjoying this test.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm busy doing a flight just to get in front of John at the minute.
Kevin, I've got 3 more flights booked for tonight.
Are you serious?
I'm already on my 6th flight now, John.
Good, lad. I'll be on 9.
Wow.
Blooming heck, John.
It's a drug. They hooked.
Desperate to get in front of me on the bonus points.
Uncle John,
Yes, sir.
imagine you couldn't start the Zibo engines yet. Imagine you were still there.
Don't be like that.
Shame.
Dude,
Boy, oh
And
boy, I
invest.
tell you what, that was probably the best gift you ever received in your whole life, eh?
Nico, without the Zibo, I might as well get into my box.
I'm with you.
I can see an NTSB investigation starting tomorrow. Aircrew busting flying hours.
yeah.
Anyway, Mac, I'm not sure if you were here now, but I've basically restarted Explain twice. I'm going to continue flying. There are 4 more pictures I need to fly through.
Yeah,
One,
I,
two,
I've been
three.
watching for the last and not interfering. I had a grocery delivery. I had to nip and
No worries, no worries. One.
receive that. It's making sense to me now.
Mm,
I was just wondering, you know all the airline pilots that you talk to?
mm.
I was just wondering, without identifying obviously who's flying for who and the rest of it, if you could start to make a list about which airlines have got which options, maybe, so that we can set up our liveries.
I can probably do something like that.
I mean, not panic, but it would just
Yeah,
be
yeah.
useful,
Mm,
perhaps, to understand. I mean, Ryanair have got a very young fleet, so probably they're like flying some of the latest, which
yeah, they've
is
got the.
virtually aligned with the Max version.
Yeah,
Whereas some of the other airlines might be running very early versions
correct.
of the 800.
Correct, correct. Well, one of them that does not have VNAV alt installed is TUI, by the way.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so TUI apparently doesn't have it. Um, yeah, I'll have to get back to you on the others because it's obviously in my messenger now. We spoke,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I just thought it might clarify a little bit for people,
yeah,
if
sure.
you.
Ryanair does have VNAV alt. Okay, so
That's useful.
yeah, they have got it.
I was actually trying to throw up the FCOM actually to see
Mm.
how it's worded, the different options in the FCOM. But of course, the latest one I've got isn't the latest FCOM. So
Yeah, Mac, there's another thing that I saw Zibo point out earlier today is that it is not very well descripted in the FCOM. And that's why
yeah,
we had to ask the real world guys because he got stuck at one point and he couldn't get past it because the FCOM was not clear on it at all. So that's why we had to ask the real world guys who actually fly these
yeah,
things.
yeah, makes sense.
On runway 21, right, flaps, flaps.
Custom nav database. Okay.
Don't get me started with that.
No. I'll just reload it quick. Right, while it's busy reloading, let's quickly recap. So we have a waypoint altitude restraint, okay, that we had to contend with, and we had VNAV alt installed. So in the Zibo code, it took care of all the calculations regarding the altitude constraint. It then went from VNAV path to VNAV alt. While VNAV alt is on, you cannot use altitude intervention. Okay, then you have to set your MCP altitude. It will change to altitude hold on the display on your PFD. Then you press the VNAV button, because at that point in time it will actually kick out
On runway 21
somewhere
right.
it kicks out
Flaps.
the
Flaps.
actual speed, so it's not in VNAV anymore. And then you have to click the VNAV button. It will change on the annunciator to VNAV speed. You'll climb and it will get to VNAV path at the top, and this is now completed. What we're going to look at now is this one. By the way, I think Zibo's got a better handwriting than me. I don't write this nice. I can actually read this. Just had to say that. Okay, without waypoint altitude constraint and with a VNAV alt. Okay, that's the one we're going to fly now. So we're going to look at VNAV speed in the climb. We're going to have 12,000 on the MCP, and we're going to watch what it changes to. We're going to set the 26,000 in the middle, and we're going to press the VNAV button, watch VNAV speed and VNAV path. That's the aim.
1 right. On runway.
Alright, so we
1
need to
right.
remove. Oh, we haven't selected the safe flight situation.
Flaps 5
I'm
cent.
dealing with all the queries that are coming in regarding this latest update.
Alright, Uncle John.
You're a brave soul, Uncle John.
Tell them to come to the stream. Give them a link to the stream.
Nico, what do you think I've just done?
Okay, alright. So there we go. We've removed the altitude constraints. So we've got without waypoint altitude constraint and with VNAV alt installed. We're just going to double check that. To configure.
Can I ask a question of Zibo, if he's listening?
I'm
please,
not sure he's
Nico?
still here, but you can try.
What I was going to say, can he give you permission to post the 3 pictures that he's passed to you so that the rest of us can see them? Perhaps,
He's given me permission already. I'll post it. I'll definitely
Thank
do
you
that.
very much.
Right, there's in fact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these are new ones from today. The last couple. I think the first 5 is the better ones. I actually understand them. I don't understand the last 2. I need to go and read them first and decipher them. But I have permission. Let's do this. Let's do this quickly.
The reason I say that is we've proven that they work as intended.
Yeah.
I want to see if you can break them. That's what I'm getting at. In other words, if you do something that isn't intended, and what happens, that's all.
Yeah. Let me get to the Zibo pilots group quickly.
Drop it under the existing, Nico.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for your post, Uncle John.
I think it's at the top.
Yeah, I had to refresh. Let's see. Uncle John, I'm actually going to create a new post because there are too many of these pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
If you feel that's the best way for it.
Yeah, because then it's all grouped together, Uncle John. He said what he will do is he'll create proper slides. Okay, so this is obviously just handwritten. He will create proper slides that he will release as well, guys.
Oh, Zibo, you are a star.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Glad I brought it up now.
Alright, so I just want to quickly recap. I've made the post.
Uncle John,
Yes, sir.
I just read your post on the pilots group regarding it's a one-liner that you have a small update to beta 11 released. What beta 11 is that?
Beta. 11 beta.
Yeah, but what's that? What are you referring to? Because you're not giving it enough description to make it sensible, Uncle John.
Okay. I'll pop back and double check that. Thank you.
Alright, but hold on. What are you talking about? Because now you've got me curious. Where do you have a beta 11?
I thought that's exactly what Max said earlier. There's been a small update to beta.
No. It's Explain 11.50r3. That's what it's called.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool.
That's I like it. Thank you.
Right, so
Thanks to both of you.
no worries. All right, so without waypoint constraints and with VNAV alt. Okay, VNAV alt is on. It's weird that it says yes, no, but that means VNAV alt is on and not altitude hold. Okay, then we've taken out the altitude restraint. Stations, airports. Alright. We are ready to go then.
Stabilized.
Oh, now that we've restored the flight, we need to get rid of the chocks.
Approaching 2-1 right.
I just need to answer this one query quickly before we get going. So I just want to quickly pull up onto the runway.
On runway 2-1 right.
Alright, okay, let's go.
Stabilized.
So the first thing we're going to look for after takeoff is going to be VNAV speed. We have got 12,000 feet set, everything.
Takeoff thrust set.
John, you may want to update your post.
80 knots. Throttle hold.
Which one?
Small update to major
I thought he
Yeah,
did it
that's
already.
that's why I was confused, because I actually got an update for 1150 beta.
Yeah, but the description, Uncle John, is what it's
I
about.
I didn't put any description. I merely said there was an update for it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
that's what we tried to explain.
Great.
Not explaining that.
Let me speak to Mac on his own.
Okay.
Mac,
Yeah.
pop out.
Uncle John's got a heart of gold. But I see he didn't understand what we were trying to say, Dimitri.
Yeah, no, I was just, I thought maybe there was something
Runway
else.
turn off lights
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. Right, so there we have it. We've got the VNAV speed. For some reason, and I don't know why my VNAV bugged out
Approaching
again. I
transition.
don't know if it's the bumps in the road or what on earth it's causing that, but it took away VNAV again. Or I didn't put it in now that I'm thinking about it loud. I don't know. Who knows? But there you can see I fixed it and it is definitely doing what we are expecting it to do.
Flaps 1 set.
Right, we're going to climb to 12,000, then it
Approaching
should go to
transition.
VNAV out. Hello, bossy.
Flaps upset.
Hallo Nico,
Gaan het.
hoe moet het gaan hoor?
Mooi man.
Transition altitude.
Hey Joe, welcome.
Hi Nick, how are you? Hi guys.
I'm okay, thank you. I survived last night, so all well.
I missed that. What happened last night that you survived?
Me and Zibo were sitting here planning this stream for last night, and I got a kidney stone.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that.
It was fun. I ended up in the ER for a couple of hours.
That's so painful. Oh my God.
It was a kidney stone, Nico, was it?
Yeah.
Pass it,
Pass
Nico.
it?
1000 to level off.
I don't think it's come out yet. I'm not sure. I promise you, I was in so much pain. Anything could have happened. I don't know. But it definitely moved. That's one sure freaking thing. It hurt like hell when it moved.
Nico, I feel for you, man. I had them in both of my kidneys.
Ouch.
Yes, and in last chance, it was last October, it was 9 millimeters big in diameter.
Huge. That is huge.
I couldn't pass it. I had to go in and they had to send lasers in there and dissolve it.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's a huge stone.
Ouch.
That's the size of an engagement ring.
Yeah, that's what my wife said, and I almost threw it out of the window.
Sure. Alright, we had VNAV speed and we do not have VNAV alt now. We've got altitude hold, so that's interesting. I'll have to tell Zibo to come watch the video here. Because unless it went past, you see there, it's got altitude hold there. I might have missed that. I might have missed that one. Because I was listening to the 9 millimeters. It scared the living daylights out of me. Alright, so there's altitude hold. We are literally holding. So what we want to do is now change this to 26,000.
So you think it hit altitude hold after you reach 12,000?
It does it automatically, Joe. The way the new options is set, we are using no altitude constraints and we are using VNAV alt as an option in the Boeing. And so far it's panned out. It's just I missed that one. I don't know if I missed it or if it's just not there. But the fact of the matter is we are now there. And once we get... Oh, actually, there is no constraint. I wanted to say we have to wait until the next, waypoint, but we don't have to. So now we have actually set the 26,000. There's 26,000 set. We've got altitude hold, so I can actually press the VNAV button. You see, it's bugged out the speed, so it is in basically speed hold mode. So let's. I need to press that one, not the other one. VNAV speed. You see, there I've clicked on VNAV and it went. So that still works, alright. So you can also see just by putting it back into VNAV, according to the drawing, it should be in VNAV speed, and we do have VNAV speed. It is definitely working. Let me just put it there. See, so there we've got VNAV speed. Now what needs to happen is we need to get to 26,000 and it needs to change to VNAV path over there. almost at 26.
Still using SkyMax Pro.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Not much cloud here to see now, but you know, still.
Back to SkyXP.
Yeah. I love the whole integration.
Yeah, it has a separate platform for it, right?
Yeah.
And then what do you set your meter, weather to unexplained to meter, right?
Yeah. Meter.rwx.
And what about the SkyMax Pro itself? Do you have that option ticked up where it says don't change the weather or not?
Where is that?
It's the SkyMax menu.
I've got plenty. Which ones would it be? There's configure precipitation.
The one with the real weather.
Oh, real weather. No, the real world weather connector. It's set to the external injector and never change visible weather. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right, we're almost at the top
With
of
that
our.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, no.
I'll just let you do your. But I was gonna say with that checked, you don't. You get a more realistic, but you don't
Yes.
get the
1000 to
the
level
upgrades.
up.
Yeah,
Now you get the
you
updates.
don't get them.
Now you get them, but what happens is it's not abrupt. You remember in the old days, or if you don't use it, you will have the one set of clouds, then it will clear the whole weather system and put new clouds, and you see that whole interruption. It basically, that's all it does, is it takes that away. It just makes it a smoother thing. So what happens is it will update the weather station just ahead of you, and then you fly into the weather instead of it just cutting it off and putting new weather.
Okay, just thank you.
Alright, we are at 26,000. Oops, that's the wrong slide. That's the right slide. We are now in VNAV path. Alright, so my only query is about that one. I'll have to go check the video and then tell Zibo to maybe just check that, because that one I did not see at all. That one we got. But we got that before we got to that point also. So I don't know. We'll have to see. The next one we're going to do is this one. So we're going to have an altitude constraint for a couple of waypoints, okay, not just the first two that we did. And then in the middle of the restraint, we're going to use altitude intervention to climb. So we're going to see how that pans out. This reminds me, this is typical of Stansted. You know your UK kind of departures where you fly for half an hour under constraints. You know, so this is a real world example of where we might use this. So,
Such as Stansted.
yes, exactly so. Thanks for updating that post, Uncle John. Makes much more sense now.
Yeah, well, but thank Mac because we did it together.
Yeah, thanks, Mac.
Knots. Flaps 5 set. Stabilized. We have park brake on, sir.
Right, so we're going to set up some altitude constraints then. Right, so we're going to have another one there. Aye. Right, so in the middle of this whole constraint thing, we're going to use altitude intervention. So let's get that thing back on. We're going to look for VNAV speed. We're going to reach 12,000 VNAV path. There we're going to change somewhere there the MCP, and then at some point in time we're just going to hit the altitude intervention button. That should bust the altitude of 12,000 for us. It should then climb with VNAV speed and use VNAV path at the top. Let's go. Wow, did the weather change that much? Let me just double check it.
You okay elsewhere?
Oh no, I'm on top of the world, Uncle John. It was terrible last night, but we made it. I'm just updating the weather because it went cockeye there.
Oh yeah.
Approaching 2, 1, right.
What are you showing my people now again, Uncle John? Are you being naughty? Yeah, I missed that. Right, let's go. Steel and fairing fans. Sorry guys, let me read through your post here on the stream. I apologize, I've been concentrating on so many other things. Let's see. The flight sim with actual physics. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Steel, I think so too. We'll check that. FMC is a very clever computer. Exactly. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think there was a small mistake, but anyway, we'll see. Well, I'll go watch the video again, and then I will speak to Zibo if I have to. Okay, so let's go.
Stabilized.
Uncle John. You look like Chavez ready to address the crowd in Venezuela.
Oh my soul.
Takeoff thrust set.
Sorry, Uncle John, I had to do
80 knots. Throttle hold.
It reminds me more of that movie, The Last Dictator. Did you guys see that?
it. 6 seconds ahead.
It was funny. It is the craziest movie I've seen in a while. Alright, now we're still on.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Don't think.
Gear up. And then she dies again. She was working on the ground just now. Silly woman. Oh, I see what happened. I pressed the wrong button.
I don't think Olga is very cooperative today.
Olga is not. She's Olga today, not Linda. I'm gonna try restart
Do we need
this
landing gear up?
thing. Oh, better lift the gear.
Runway turn off, lights off. Speech engine restart.
She only comes
Gear.
up. She only comes up when she wants to. That was loud. Who was talking?
Was that loud? Nico?
Very. Yes. Owen. Hello. How are you? Don't drink. Don't drink.
I'm
Bjorn.
okay. I'm okay. I've got no kidney stones anymore.
Approaching
good.
transition.
I had them, so I know what you
Flaps
were
upset.
talking about.
Gotcha. Right, guys, so we are in the VNAV speed phase and we're looking for 12,000 and VNAV path.
Transition altitude.
Nico,
Yes.
do you know about the Anson plugin for the shades?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's nice. Make your jagged shades go away.
You know what, Dimitri? That's the last thing on my mind is jagged edges. But thanks for telling me.
Sorry, Nico, it's my OCD.
No, you're welcome.
Put it in general, Dimitri.
Yeah, put it in, not general, no, in the nice to haves, put it in the free
Oh yeah,
plugins.
nice to have, yeah.
Yeah, plugins. We'll go check it out.
We'll do it right now.
Oh, thanks.
Thousand to level off.
$1,000 to go.
Right, so we're looking for VNAV path now. Once we reach our top of climb. Well, this level at least.
Legal question, please.
Ask away.
So you've been flying exclusively with Lois next to you?
Linda, yes. Yeah,
Lois,
yeah.
do you like her?
Some of her, yes, some of her. I'm still working on my plan behind the scenes, which I will submit to Jar Design to make her fit in better, because she currently is just acting like an add-on, bolt-on thing. You know, she's not a real crew member because she's disregarding a lot of the settings that are already in the Zibo that we don't want. I want her to be an actual Zibo crew member. I mean, she was made for Zibo, so she's got to fit in. But she's okay. The thing that is not okay is this Microsoft speech recognition engine. You see, and because I keep on reloading the flight, what happens is that speech engine seems to just go wonky and then it crashes out. So it's
that recognition program.
yeah, it's a Microsoft thing. It's the Microsoft built-in speech recognition for Windows 10. Okay, so what this infographic tells us now is we are there. We do have VNAV path. Thank you, Zibo. It's perfect. So we're going to set the MCP and we're going to hit altitude intervention. So let's do it this way so we can do everything at once. I'm going to set this up to 26,000. Right. And altitude intervention negative. This is not working. It immediately kicks us out of VNAV. You see there. So if we go back to VNAV, we don't even have to press the button. Hello, call. Welcome, welcome. You see, we didn't even have to press the button to actually make it climb. It just started climbing on its own. So it disregarded the altitude restraint and it simply started climbing. Yeah. The moment I turned that up, it kicked that out. The moment I clicked the VNAV, it started spooling up the climb and we didn't have to press that button. Very interesting. Okay, so help me, correct me if I'm wrong, but there shouldn't be a difference between me putting in the constraints and an actual departure as in Stansted, or do you guys think we must go and fly it at Stansted and see what it does? Because
Probably
then
a
it's
better,
system programmed.
probably a better idea, or maybe even Gatwick. They have some constraints.
Stansted is rough with those things as well. Okay, all right, we'll do that as well then. Andre, I'm not streaming on Discord, that's why. I'm just streaming on YouTube. Yeah, I think we need to go to EGSS and go try that. Okay, so we're gonna come back to this one then. We'll come back to this one where there's actual hard-coded restraints, because it might be that, you know, because I put them in manually. Yeah, you see exactly what I'm saying still. But at least it's on record now, and Zibo can watch the video when he comes back, and you know, you can see what we're trying to explain to him. Right, okay, so I'm not going to continue with this one then. Let's go back quickly and do the next one. Just want to quickly see how far we need to go still. So without VNAV Alt and without VNAV Alt. Like I say, there's 2 more flights that we can actually do here. Hello, Olaf. No, I had 12,000.
knots. Flaps 5 set. Stabilize.
Alright, still, there you can see the
on.
flight situation is
Sir.
saved with 12,000, so that's all normal. On the FMC it is, oh crap, you're right. No, you're not. I had 12B, so that should be perfectly fine. We never even passed that one, so we were still in the constraints there, and as far as I know, they were all 12,000, so no, that's all good, okay. So the next test we're going to do is without VNAV Alt, so we're going to go back in time to version 8 of the FMC, and without FMC altitude restrictions. So what we're going to do is clear these guys out. execute. So they have been cleared out, so no restrictions. Then we're going to set this one to be without VNAV altitude. Alright, so VNAV alt is not installed at all. Alright, and then we're going to climb to 12,000. It needs to say altitude acquire and then altitude hold, or I don't know what the slash means. I presume it's one then the other. Then we're going to set the MCP and we're going to hit the VNAV button and watch it climb up. So let's go do that. Joburg International has not seen this much traffic in 5 months.
Approaching 2-1 right. On runway 21
Stabilized.
right.
Takeoff thrust set.
Hello, Krister.
80 knots. Throttle hold.
That's perfect, Krister. Thanks for saying hello.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Don't think.
Sunny, it's an add-on. You have to purchase her from the org store for $15, and just make sure you get the one for the Zibo mod, because there are options for dollars and for the jar design Airbuses
Runway
as well.
turn
So
off,
just make
lights
sure you
off.
grab the right one. Ismail, welcome, and Jono, thank you so much.
Approaching transition.
Yeah, I've been around for a while, but I'm glad you found me, and I hope you're going to enjoy it here. Welcome to this crazy family. We like doing things a little bit different to norms, and you're obviously welcome. You can join us on Discord as well if you feel like it. There's a link below the video. Just go through the little
Transition
thing that
altitude.
you have to do to join us. You're welcome.
The emphasis is on family.
Family, yes. Everything we do is supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be in a safe space. All those other nice things. We operate like a big family.
I'm biting my tongue today because this is a task.
Mac.
Yes.
I know you don't think I would do it. That's why I'm laughing. How are you doing today, Mac? You didn't have any kidney stones last night, eh?
I wasn't stoned yesterday.
That's it in my heart, man.
I hope we kept you amused while you were sitting waiting patiently in hospital yesterday.
Oh yeah, the longer that trip was running and you guys were acting crazy, the more I laughed. At one point in time I actually thought the people in the cubicle next door would think I'm crazy. Lekker, Jono. Excellent. That sounds good.
1000 to level off.
Ah, thank you, Paul.
1,000 to go.
I'm sitting here waiting for better days. Thank you. I don't know why that kicks out. Zibo will have to look at that as well, because there's no rhyme or reason for that VNAV to continuously disconnect. I don't know why that's happening. Oh,
I
well.
blame the
Sorry, Mac.
I blame the FO.
Yeah, I'm wondering if she doesn't press the button when I don't see it. I don't know. I mean, it's on beforehand. Maybe next time it could be because it's a saved flight, guys. I mean, it could be that I must just cycle it before I actually do the takeoff run, as silly as that. But when VNAV speed is there, there's VNAV speed, so we do know it works. Alright, so we're going to get to 12,000 shortly, and then we'll see this altitude acquisition thing. Oh,
She behaves like she had stolen still last night.
probably.
Pay attention,
Flaps
Nico.
Uh,
I see her moving her hands all the time.
Alright, I just noticed altitude acquired and then it went to altitude hold. I actually saw it this time. Alright, so it did do it. It went very quickly to altitude acquired, then altitude hold. So we're okay. Now we're going to set 26 and we're going to then press the VNAV button. And I already know it's going to work. This one is perfect. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's higher. Ja, Andre, ek het die flaps gesien, dankie. So anyway, yeah, there we go. This one works. This one without VNAV alt. This one works like the old Boeings from the old version 8 FMC. So this one is a pass. The first one was a pass. The middle two. Well, the second one also, I think you guys said it actually did work, but I'll just double check it. And it's then basically 1.5 that have failed. That I'm not happy with. Alright, so we already see it's climbing, it's doing its thing. I'm just gonna let it climb 1,000 feet, then we'll go back and do the last flight, and then we'll go to Stansted and quickly do one of those takeoffs and make sure that the one with all the altitude constraints actually work for us. Let's see. This one definitely works. Okay, let's stop it.
Knots. Flaps 5 set. Stabilized. We have park brake on, sir.
Yes, madam. Andre, ask. So let's just quickly check this while we are here. Configure. We need without VNAV alt. Correct, so it's still off, exactly as we had it just now. And then we need to put the altitude constraints back in. Alright, there it is, and let's just fix that one that Steel actually saw earlier. See, Steel, you were right, but it was in the wrong place for being absolutely right to 1,200, 12,000. I didn't put the B. That's why it looks funny, man. That's why. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, B. There. Now they look the same. Alright, now there's no dispute. So we've got that. So what we have to do is we obviously know VNAV speed does work. We want to get to 12,000. See VNAV path. The altitude constraint needs to be there. Right, I must actually take that last one out then, because it's going to be an altitude constraint there. Alright, no more. It's only at that point, and obviously there is that will still remain on the altitude constraint. So does that mean altitude constraint probably until there? So it's between the 2 points. So this could actually be 3 points then. 1, 2, 3, because there it starts, there it stops, and there's one in the middle. Altitude constraint is 12,000. Yeah, I think I've read it correctly. So somewhere in the middle of those three, we'll then continue to the rest. I drink Coca-Cola, yes. Why? Let's go. Are you bringing some?
Stabilized.
Approaching 2, 1, right. On runway 2, 1, right.
Alright, so before we hit that thing, let's just cycle that VNAV. Keep our eyes on it again, because I don't understand. There's no rhyme or reason why it would kick out. Ah, this is another interesting thing. Look, both flight directors are on.
Throttle hold.
I wonder why that would be. That's interesting. That could be also part of the issue we have with using a replay.
V1.
That's interesting.
Rotate.
I don't think to test later. I'm not gonna bother with it now.
Positive rate.
Flight director is gone. Oops. How I messed up. Let's go back. Oops.
Flaps 5 set. 60 knots. Stabilized. We have park brake on, sir.
Very interesting. Ah, Andre, got it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just to make sure that we don't have an issue, because now it seems okay. Remove the jocks. Yeah, let's go.
Stabilized.
Yeah, I don't see a flight director here. That is definitely a problem. Definitely a problem. Okay, so we've possibly
Approaching
found
2,
another boat
1,
for the
right.
boss to look at. So. What I'll do is I'll shut down and restart the X-plane before we continue. Hello,
On
Alex.
runway 2, 1,
Just
right.
confirm there's no problem if you do flight directors from cold and dark.
Yeah, exactly, no, there's no problem. There seems to be... oh, there we go. The moment I hit my tow guide, it came back. Alright, so it might be that we just jumped the gun
Takeoff
because it
thrust
looked
set.
funny. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't drink any alcohol anyway, so I wouldn't know.
rotate. Positive rate.
Don't think.
Ah, it kicked off the VNAV again. Don't know why. Again, it could be because it's a reload. Anyway, at least we see it now. Thanks, Paul, for bringing that to our attention. Right, so there we have it. VNAV speed. We're going to climb to 12,000. We're going to watch
Runway
for
turn
VNAV
off, lights
path,
off.
altitude hold, and then that's obviously an altitude constraint. So in that path somewhere, we're going to set MCP speed and press the VNAV button. You see, the moment we touch the MCP altitude, it immediately kicks out the speed. Get the flaps up. It kicks out the
Approaching
speed,
transition.
and the moment you press the VNAV again, it's just going to climb. So I'm pretty confident this one will also work perfectly. So the only one that really didn't work was this one, and this one I'm just concerned about that
Flaps
one.
upset.
It's not a problem, but this one we really have to.
That next waypoint, Nico, I can't see it personally.
Transition altitude.
Hey Alan, thanks for subscribing. Yeah, give me a second, Mac.
Yeah, because that is it's not a waypoint, and when we get the VNAV kicks out, because it's outside the angle first waypoint, maybe, I don't know.
It shouldn't, because it didn't do it on all the flights, Mac.
No, okay, alright, respect comment.
But
oh no, it's based on a. It's alright, it is a waypoint because it's based on the VOR.
yeah, and I mean this is a published
1000
set,
to level
and
off.
it always works. I think it's got something to do with us reloading the code there.
1,000 to go.
Maybe.
But I like the way you're thinking.
No, it is actually a waypoint because it's based on the VOR.
Right, so now we have VNAV path, which is correct. Right, we are in the middle of that altitude constraint. I mean, whether we do it now or, I mean, we've got three waypoints that are constraining us. It doesn't really matter. What we'll do is we'll go past that second one, which is noted by that line and this writing over there, and then we'll just, you know, keep it in line with the script. Press the button. I don't see this one failing either. I think Zibo did an excellent job with this one. It's just this one that we've got a query on. I'll restart explain. I'm not going to stop the stream, so you guys can just go grab a coffee. I think I must get another coffee myself as well. So while explain the reloads, we'll then spawn at EGSS and we'll do departure there and see what it does for us.
Nico, when you finished your stream, can you leave your X-plane running? Because there's one instance I wanted to ask you a question about.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't want to. You're doing it all as per his diagrams at the moment. It's just something I want you to try.
okay. Blogger man, yeah, that is a concern. Thank you for pointing that out. Someone else also mentioned something about Linda. It could be that she's tripping it. I'm not sure. She's not supposed to, in all honesty. That's not part of her script. I've worked really hard on her script this week. There's no reason for her to do that, but it could be a glitch, you know, that as she moves her hand past or something, that something goes weird. I don't know. But that's interesting. Weird, but interesting. Right, we're almost at RAGUL. And VNAV path must then change to VNAV speed the moment we press. Where's that thing? Meet the VNAV button. Bloggerman, I'm just thinking out loud. It might be that because we are reloading her and she's not used to it, that she might be in a different mode than what we think she is, you know, and she might actually fiddle. That is a good observation. Right, well, we've got to alt hold after that constraint. You see there, we've got alt hold now. So again, that's perfect. Just move that up slightly and there we go. There's VNAV speed. So this one also works very well. Hello, IK Gamer. Seems to be working very well. Okay, gamer, you're gonna have to try in English, please. I do not understand what that means. Yeah, it's possible, my friend. Anything's possible. I'm pretty sure the forum will light up with issues if there are any. I really just need to go fly that Stansted departure now, and then we'll see. Right, no, this one works. Okay, before we go to Stansted, I'm quickly going to just refly this one. I just want to see if we get the VNAV out there. So I'm just going to quickly go back without altitude constraints and the VNAV out on. Just want to fly this one quick, and then we'll take a quick break and do Stansted afterwards.
Knots. Flaps 5 set. Stabilized.
So, VNAV alt is installed, and we have VNAV alt selected. And not altitude on, so that's exactly what we want. And we want to delete the restraints. Right, so this is basically how it is supposed to be. So what we're going to do is get this Linda. Where is the command list?
All commands and checklists aborted.
Okay, so we've reset her now as well. Hopefully she won't interfere again. And let's go do this. Let's see if we can get this voice engine to restart again.
Speech engine restart.
Alright, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but we gave it a try. Let's get going.
Stabilized.
Approaching 2-1 right. On runway 21 right.
Takeoff thrust set.
Alright, keep your eyes on that woman.
Throttle hold. V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Don't think.
Gear up. There we go, she listened. The moment I switch on Command A, her hand does pass there. The moment I switch on Command A, it kicks it. That's one thing for sure, I don't know why.
Runway turn off, lights off.
Really don't know why. When we start up at Stansted, it will be a fresh, copy of the Zibo running and fresh explain and everything.
Approaching transition.
Again, or if it doesn't again. Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Okay, I've just tested. You guys can hear when I say flaps 1,
Flaps
there is
1
sound.
set.
Flaps up.
Speed checked. Flaps up.
Right, so I definitely have sound. Whoever was saying it earlier, sorry, I can't remember, said there's no sound. I think it was Andre. I definitely, yeah, it's Andre there. I have
Flaps up
sound
set.
when the levers are operated.
Transition altitude. Transition altitude.
Right, so let's turn it a little bit this way and bring this over. So we are looking at 12,000 for VNAV alt. And then it should go to altitude hold. So maybe it skips it, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. Uncle John, are you in the air yet? You flying? No. Thought you're gonna do another 3 flights. Okay.
1000 to level off.
His backside was in the air just now. It moved from one chair to another.
Alright guys, there we go. The 12,000's coming up. Let's concentrate on that now. Funny. Let's see.
I was winding Kevin up.
Understand.
John, just going to drag you away to another room for a minute.
Altitude acquired. Altitude acquired. Altitude hold. It did not say VNAV altitude. Definitely not. Definitely did not say that. Okay, I want to say something stupid. I'm thinking we should be on altitude hold for this test. I think that's the problem. Let's go back, let's go try. One more time and then we go fly standstill. Ah, that might be as easy as that. We need to be on altitude hold for this one.
60 knots.
Could very well
Flaps 5 set.
Right, gentlemen, I've just remembered one more thing. At 8 o'clock we're probably going to lose our electricity. If I disappear all of a sudden, it's because our country ran out of electricity. So please forgive me, but then what we'll do is we'll do the stand state 1 tomorrow or sometime. So I don't know if we're going to fit it in before 8 o'clock. That's the other issue now.
How long is that going to take, Nico?
Power is going to be out until 12:30 a.m. local time, which is 11:30 UK time, 10:30 UTC.
Stabilized. Takeoff thrust set.
Okay, so both of them are on hold now.
80 knots. Throttle hold.
Should put some solar cells on your roof.
Yeah. I've got some solar cells for the lights, but it's not enough for
V1. Rotate.
the computers and the rest of what we need.
Positive rate.
Don't think.
Gear up.
Gear up. Runway turn off, lights off. Approaching transition.
Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1. Flaps 1 set.
You see, this time she did not, or it, or whatever it is, did not kick out VNAV. So I'm not sure what that's about, but anyway, it didn't happen this time. Still running.
Transition altitude. Transition altitude.
Flaps up.
Speed checked. Flaps up.
Oh, there's Zibo looking for me again. Hold on.
Flaps up set.
Zibo says he's put the graphics on the forum. I beg your pardon. If you guys want to see the graphics that he made, it's on the forum apparently.
Oh, nice.
Right, so with this one, we literally just want to see VNAV alt.
To level off.
1,000 to go.
VNAV speed. Let's see. Altitude acquired.
But Zibo's real name actually got Professor in front because it's so professional.
Probably. I think there's altitude alt. Yeah, this one doesn't show VNAV alt at all. Damn it. I want to tell you something. I don't think it's just Professor. It's Dr. Professor. It's got to be something elevated. It's Dr. Professor Doctor or something. Hey, Zibo. Right, gents, I'm going to call it quits right here. Otherwise, we might not get Stansted in. In actual fact, I don't think we're going to get Stansted in. It's too close for comfort. I still need to switch off all my computers and my servers. So I'm going to just call it quits right here. I'll take this small little thing up with Zibo quickly while I've got electricity, and I will see you guys tomorrow or the next day or something like that. Okay, have fun, guys. Go explore, enjoy the mod.
Yeah, thanks. Will do.
Thanks, Nico.
It was a nice evening.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Mac. Thanks, Owen, Uncle John, everybody else. Bye bye.
Yo, success.